All right, so here is the Highland Park 20-inch saw. It comes in a big crate, bolted, screwed to the floor of the crate, and then they build the crate around it. So when you get it, when it gets delivered to you, you just take the crate apart and it comes ready to go, right? Everything is installed, including the blade. It comes with the blade. It's aligned, factory precision. So you don't have to worry about putting it together. Basically, you just have to put your oil in. It does take about 7 gallons of oil, so it takes a lot of oil. And you can fire it right up and go. So let's talk a little bit about how to use it. So here you have the kill switch. That's what I'm just going to call it. You can turn it a little bit and it comes back out. You can see the directions here. So if I push it in, that'll kill it if it's running. And if I turn it like that and pop it back out, that means it's ready to go. This is the on-off switch. Actually, it's just the on switch, sorry. You just push this button and it'll fire up. Now this is your, this piece right here is for the auto feed to stop. So if I had this, let's push this down so it's open. If I had this all the way back here and it was running, when it gets to that point, it will automatically stop and it will turn it off. So that is your automatic shut off right here. So you want to make sure that it's pulled forward to actually run the saw. Now, a couple other things. Now my oil is dirty already. I've been running some crazy lace, so it looks pretty red. This is to lock the carriage. So you pull it up, the carriage is now locked, and it would start going from there. But if you want to move the carriage, you push this down. Just push it straight down. That's all you do. And then you can move the carriage back and forth like that. Pretty cool, right? Now to go left to right, it is actually this knob here. So if I want to move the vise closer to the blade, you would spin it one way. And if you want to pull it away from the blade, you'd spin it the other way. So you just turn this to go left to right, to pull it further away from the blade or closer to the blade, depending on what kind of rock you have. And you can see as I turn it, it is getting a little bit further away from the blade. So that is how you go from left to right. And again, this lever down here, this nice big lever, is to move the carriage back and forth. It also has an Everclean port right here. So if you do get the Everclean, I believe you just hook that up to there and it cleans the oil for you. So that's a separate purchase, the Everclean. Now to grip a rock in here, you have your typical vise, and I need to hold this just a little bit so it doesn't move. You just move it back and forth right here. Let me lock it so it doesn't move. That'll be helpful. Pull that up there. So now it won't move. And you're going to want to twist this out pretty far. And then you can move the vise up and down based on the size of your rock. You can see how I'm just pulling it, because once you put this down into one of the holes, because this has a knob on the bottom of it, it has to go in one of the holes. Then you twist this and it will push the vise into your rock and lock it in there. So it's all you do to lock in your rock. Now I'm reversing it back out, lift it up. See these holes here? It has to go in one of those holes. And then you would lock it in based on the size of your rock. That is pretty much all you need to know. Make sure when you put the oil in that it covers the blade a little bit, because you want it to, and you can see that mine is in the oil. usually 1/8 to 1/4 inch, no more than that. You don't want to overfill it and have too much oil in here, but it has to be touching the blade a little bit so that you can, when it spins around, it actually grabs some of the oil. You do not want to cut dry. So make sure you have enough oil in here, but not too much. The other tip I'll give you is I have found on these rails that the bearings spin on, you can see them spinning right there. Keep these rails clean, and if you need to, wipe them down with a paper towel. And then I also keep a spray bottle of oil, which I will grab. And I actually will spray the bearings. This is oil, so I put some of the mineral oil. And I spray down the rails, and I make sure you get all 4 sets of bearings, because there's one back here, one set here, one set in the front here, and then one set in the front of the machine over here. You can see these bearings. You want to keep those really nice and lubricated. You don't want to get rock chunks in there and mud. Make sure when you pull this carriage back and forth that it is rolling freely and there's not a bunch of rock chips or gunk in there. And if you take care of this saw, it will last forever. It's really well made. So that is the entire set of things you need to know to run the Highland Park 20-inch saw. Again, there is no assembly. It comes completely assembled in a crate. You just take the crate off, put your oil in, and plug it in. Now, the last tip I'll give you, this is a big tip. It comes with a drain cap. Let me come down here. I use ball valve. So this is a 2-inch NPT female ball valve. I got this on Amazon for about 20 or 30 bucks. That way when I do drain the oil, I just have to open the valve and I don't have to worry about spinning off the drain cap. So I do recommend that you get a 2-inch NPT female ball valve. It'll save you a lot of trouble. You can also see that it's leaking just a little bit. So even with the plumber's tape or the Teflon tape, it will leak and drip just a little bit. Keep a bucket underneath there unless you really tighten that sucker up. I highly recommend just keeping a bucket, catching any drips so that you don't make a mess. But yeah, this is a beautiful saw. It runs really well, and I highly, highly recommend it. All right, drop a comment if you have any questions about this wonderful saw, and happy cutting. Thanks so much for watching.